true Whitlock Lake's mystery. To understand why my mother and I were out at Whitlock Lake, I have to give you a little background on us. My mother and I run a wreath business in a quiet northern Michigan town. Violent crimes are virtually non-existent. It was fall. Around this time of year, the forests in Michigan become rich with color. This day was full of warmth and color. Instead of buying pine cones for decorating wreaths, we decided to go foraging for them in our local woods. I knew about Whitlock Lake from my high school days. Some of my friends and I went out there a couple times to party. It's a small camping area with about 3 sites. This lake is connected to another bigger lake a few miles down the road. It is in a small old logging town called Jennings, Hop, 20 maybe a little less or more. The times I went out there as a high school student, it never had a strange feeling in the air. The day my mother and I went to forage, the air was thick with fear, and we felt like we were being watched. We thought maybe it was just a small woodland creature hiding and watching, waiting for us to leave, so we continued. About an hour goes by, and we decided to move on. We moved to where the forest meets the water. There are cute tiny little baby pine cones that we use for our tabletop wreaths. Shortly after, we found ourselves at the edge of the lake. We heard a few gunshots from across the lake. We live in northern Michigan. People are getting ready for hunting season around this time of year, so we shrugged it off. We got into our car and moved down the trail. When we got out of my car, I noticed quite a few shotgun shells on the ground. Again, it's not uncommon to find shells of any sort on the ground this time of year. We continued. We were at the end of the trail with the last 2 campsites on either side of the trail. We continued foraging for about 20 more minutes as we walked across the trail to the next site. We noticed something very strange. At the opening of the campsite, we noticed a tall 5 feet or 6 feet wooden pole. On top of that pole, we saw 2 leather straps wafting in the wind. To us, that was strange. Why would someone want leather straps on a pole? Of course, we put it out of our minds and continued. A short while later, we stumbled upon an old beat-up mattress that looked like it had been there for a while now. As we got closer to the mattress, the ground around it was very mucky. As soon as you stepped somewhere, you sunk about a half a foot down. People dump garbage in the woods a lot up here. When we started walking past it to get to the pine cones on the other side, this horrible smell seeped into our nostrils. We both looked at each other at the same time and got the hell out of there. By now we are scared out of our wits. As we were driving out of the trailhead, we were met by a guy in a red Cadillac type vehicle. The look on his face scared the bejesus out of us. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe it was all in our heads. I would like to think that my mother and I have a good sense for that sort of thing. And we got out of there just in the nick of time. Needless to say, my mother and I have never been back to the lake and do not plan on going back. About a week later, I could not hold this event inside myself anymore, so I called the cops and recalled the incident as best as I could. They said they would look into it, and I have not heard anything since. This happening still haunts me to this day. I'm always thinking about what may have actually happened out there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to support my work. And as always, enjoy the fear, my dear.